Yoini. Let's give some tzedakah, and with this extra special prayers, especially now when our soldiers are battling, hopefully the remnant of Amalek, which is being eradicated. Klippa evil needs to be totally eradicated. Let's hope that they will do this quickly, swiftly, and with no loss of lives, innocent lives. And we will get over with these tunnels, and we will finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is all about the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash and the revelation of Mashiach. You know, when it comes to kosher food, eating, in general we know that meat is a big issue, how it should be prepared, fish, what is permitted, what is not permitted, but in general one would think that fruits and vegetables is one that very little laws are related to it. Basically any vegetable is kosher. Okay, we have to check for bugs. It's a different story. But the food in itself, there are not too many laws about it. Yet we find something quite interesting. One of the most stringent laws is when we deal with fruit. Even more strict than pork. Torah says we're not allowed to eat pork, but we can benefit from it. You can sell it, you can give it away to a Gentile. Yet when it comes to the laws of fruit, we find in the Parsha of this week something very stringent. And Torah says the following, and this is in verse 23, chapter 19. You come to the land of Israel and utatem kol etz machal, and you will be planting any kind of fruit tree. Varalta merlose espirioi, and the fruit will be consistently restricted from you for 3 years. For 3 years, the fruit should be restricted. Lo yochal, you're not allowed to eat it. The first 3 years of planting a fruit tree, I should say, you cannot eat those fruits. On the 4th year, kodesh hilulim lashem, they're sanctified to God, and it has to be eaten only in Jerusalem. Finally, on the 5th year, you can benefit, you can eat the fruit. Why that stringency that for 3 years we're not allowed to eat its food? So here's something very interesting. Remember, God created the world, and the 6th day created Adam, and then Adam and Chava, and then he told him you can enjoy the whole big, luscious garden, except from the tree of Das, Eitz HaDas, the tree of knowledge, don't touch, don't eat. You know how long this prohibition was for? 3 hours, no more. And unfortunately, they couldn't resist. They couldn't even resist the temptation for 3 hours. After those 3 hours, they would have been able to eat, and the world would be a totally different world. All the difficulties, all the challenges that we're having today, including with birthing, and the whole transformation of the world, the evil which is in the world, all started from those moments. For 3 hours, they couldn't control themselves. So as a atonement, as a way of cleansing, for those 3 hours, says the Torah that when you plant a tree, referring to the trees, for 3 years, you can't consume it. And in fact, there's a matter who says that God turns around to Adam and says, aren't you embarrassed? Your kids, for 3 years, they don't eat it, and you couldn't control yourself even for 3 hours. But there we find another interesting thing. So what about the 4th and the 5th? The 4th year is also special. Has to be eaten only in Israel. Only the 5th year. So this again refers to the beginning of creation. It says in the beginning of creation, in the beginning God created heaven and earth. The world was the earth was in a state of total confusion, and maybe like today, and darkness. And then it says, and the Spirit of God is hovering above the water. And then it says, God said, let there be light, and finally the light was. So here we have in the beginning three expressions: toyu, voyu, choshech. Chaos and darkness. That means concealment. So we have the first three steps corresponding to the first 3 years. Concealed, you can't touch. The fourth year, then the Spirit of God is hovering above the water. It's already present, but not fully. So you can eat it, but only in Yerushalayim. Finally, on the fifth year, the fifth expression is let there be light, open, revealed. But talking about the light, which light is it? This is the light that it says, the light that is reserved for Mashiach, which is going to happen when the Spirit of God, which is the Spirit of Mashiach, will come back into this world. Into this world. Please God, would love to see that light today.